Namaste. So we read a prayer of the Mother, March 20th, 1914. And this prayer gives us the ultimate secret of life. There are many ultimate secrets, okay? But this one gives us the ultimate secret of all protection, all wisdom. What is the wisest thing to do in life? There is the so called human practical wisdom, so called, and there is the ultimate wisdom. Thou art consciousness and light. Thou is the divine. Thou art peace in the depth of all things. The divine love that transfigures, the knowledge that triumphs over darkness. So, instead of remaining stuck in our little limited personality, to turn to the divine, who is the source of peace, who is peace in all things. Everything, if we go into its depth, there is peace. Who is, even in the storm, there is a part, there is peace. Eye of the storm. Thou art the peace in the depths of all things. Thou art the love that transfigures all things. Thou art the knowledge that triumphs over darkness. So what we should do? To feel thee and aspire to thee, one should have emerged from the immense sea of the subconscient. One should have begun to crystallize, to grow distinct, so as to know oneself and then give oneself, as that alone which is its own master can do. Here she is giving us the secret that a step necessary before surrender is to become an individual. And that process means to learn to choose. Right now, our choices are determined by society, by the prevalent notions, current opinions, etc. etc. The day we begin to choose what I accept or want to accept, what is my goal, it is still the ego, but we have begun to crystallize. We can say, this is my thought, this is my feeling, still the ego. But when we are clear, this is how I think, this is how I feel. You have a right to your thought and your feeling, no problem with that. But I have a right to my thought and my feelings and my will. When one has reached this point of crystallization, नहीं तो amorphous mass है. Today everybody says, oh, the virus is devastating. Now everybody, virus is devastating. Next day in UK Parliament they pass that, no, you don't need mask. Oh, we don't need mask. Why? Because somebody is sitting out there. So we are still slaves in the mind. So whereas when we crystallize, we say, no, this is my viewpoint. Then we are ready to surrender. She says, only a master can do that. Master means, if this house is not mine, imagine we are living in a house which has been given to us by somebody. You stay in this house. House is not mine. I didn't make a choice. I was just given this. Nature made a place and gave me. Now imagine if somebody comes and says, I give this house to you. People do it, by the way. Be very careful. When you buy land, they will sell a plot which doesn't belong to them. So, this is not yours. What is the meaning of selling that plot? So when we say I surrender, what do I surrender? When nothing is mine, when I am nothing but a jumbled mass, a chaotic jumbled mass of all the things that are going around. So what is it that I can call as mine and surrender? So one has to go through that stage of crystallization. This is a stage when ego individuality is formed. But it is necessary. This is what is called as, two ways we can look at it. The word used is paka ami. Paka aam bhi bol sakte ho, paka ami. When the ego self has become ripe and ready to be plucked from the tree. So you will see that in all yogis, they go through this stage where they are so clear about what they want, what they have thought. That's when the mango is ready to be eaten by the divine. Also it has become, and the sign is then you feel the stifling and want to emerge out. A person who is living in the chaos and as the mass consciousness doesn't feel stifling. He is very comfortable. He is part of a disorder in which he has learned to navigate. So she says first is, you have to be immersed from the immense sea of the subconscient. All the prevalent things which are jostling around. One should have begun to crystallize, to grow distinct so as to know oneself. and then give oneself as that alone which is its own master can do. Only when I am a master of myself can I say, I give it to you, O Lord. And what effort and struggle it takes to attain this crystallization. Surrender is still the easier part. To crystallize. Otherwise, unconsciously, people adopt a religion. Why? Because they are born in it. They adopt a habit, custom, and tradition. Why? Because they are grown up with it. People adopt a dress. Why? Because this is a prevalent dress. So, what is mine that one is really surrendering? When people adopt even ways of life, vegetarianism, for example, or non-vegetarianism, or organic, whatever, Tarianism. Because you have grown up like that, so you adopt it. But have we chosen? When we make a choice, then we begin to crystallize. So she says it requires a lot of effort because it means breaking off from sometimes facing a lot of social and other opposition. Because as long as you are towing the same line, it's okay. So, how much struggle and effort and struggle it takes to attain this crystallization, to emerge from the amorphous state of the environment. Environment is always in a amorphous state. You are driven by everything that is happening around. You are feeling very happy. Suddenly you see a scene, crowd, and you're all totally overtaken by that. And vice versa. Excitement of one person gets communicated into another. And how much more effort and struggle yet to give oneself to surrender once the individuality has been found. Because then we say, but this is me. First is to know this is me. That requires effort and struggle. Then one holds on, but this is me. How can I give this? I am such a brilliant, intelligent person. I have formed a great synthesis within myself. I have understood all these philosophies. Now I have to place it at your feet and say, I know nothing. But I know something. I am a scholarly person. I have read so many books. Divine will say, aise nahi kaam chalega. Then the infinite, the vast, the limitless enters. So she says these are the two steps. First is to crystallize oneself, to form an ego individuality. Second is to surrender this individuality. You cannot surrender what is not yours. You can't pick up somebody else's, purse and say, take it. I am giving it to you. That's absurd. It does no good either to the one who receives, nor to the one to whom the purse was, nor to the one who is giving it. So first you must have earned some money which is in the purse by your own earning. Then when you give it, then it makes sense. Because it's something which you have got it. But earning is about money. Much more giving is our thoughts, feelings, energies, will, at a deeper level work. So she says it's a effort and struggle. Few beings consent willingly to make this effort. Most are comfort oriented. ये सब नहीं. एक बता दो गुट की मंत्र बता दो मैं उसको लेके जप करूँगा. That's what people want. Simple way. Not that you won't find things the simple way, but this is the path of truly becoming a manifestation of the divine. So life with its brutal, unforeseen events obliges men to make it unintentionally. You say, no, I'll be driven by my social opinions. That's what Arjuna also thought. So suddenly life came with its brutal events. Bhai dekh tera bhai hai na, he's your brother. See your brother. Your parents, no? See your parents. See, once it happened in front of me. Somebody asked Champak Lal, or rather told him, introducing me, that he's my friend. Champak Lal ji made a very cryptic remark. He just said means wrote, friend? Now, for me it was like a bulb lighting up. Who is friend? Who's friend? Now, it can light up. He knew, he has already been told friend. So there is, when we make those choices, not like automatically things happen. So then life comes with its brutal, unforeseen events to teach us how to become crystal. It will compel us to make choices. If we don't want to make choices, life will take us to a point where ultimately we are compelled to make a choice. For they cannot do otherwise. So it obliges men to make it unintentionally, to become crystallized and to surrender. And little by little thy work is accomplished despite all obstacles. It's a slow process. So when world is opposing us, be happy. First step, crystal formation is taking place. All the beautiful crystals are formed like that. And then after the crystal is formed, people say, oh, what a lovely gem. Don't say, yes, I am a lovely gem. Say, this gem is meant for becoming the kaustubh money of the Lord. That's the process. Namaste.